This video is about how you present your LinkedIn bio so that you are approachable to clients. People nowadays use LinkedIn for two things in hiring. The first thing is agents and hiring companies will look at LinkedIn to identify talent for their specific job roles. The second reason is that clients and hiring companies and agencies will use it to reference check potential candidates. If you don't get your LinkedIn bio correct, you will fall down at the first hurdle. So come with me to my computer screen and I will show you how you nail your LinkedIn bio.
Okay, so I'm going to talk you through how you can draft a great LinkedIn bio. The first thing I would do is make sure your settings are correct. Okay, the reason being is that if you change your LinkedIn bio and your settings aren't correct, you'll notify everyone on your newsfeed, including your current boss, potential employers. So keep things private. So if you look on my profile here and you click under settings and privacy, there's one key thing that you need to do. Click on visibility, and if you scroll down, you'll see here share profile updates with your network is currently on yes for me. So if I change my LinkedIn bio, I notify everyone, first, second, third connections, the whole of LinkedIn that I've changed it and potentially looking for new jobs, and it will alert people. So just change this to no. That's the first thing I would do, and keep it on no. Okay, now if we go back to LinkedIn, I'll show you what employers and recruiters look for on a LinkedIn bio. So if we click on my profile, obviously it goes without saying, it's common sense to have a good headline image and a background image which relates to your profession. Keep things strictly professional. LinkedIn is a professional forum. Okay, the next thing I would say is here under your headline statement, effectively should be really simple. You should tell people your job title, the company you work for, and what is it that you do. Okay, where I see a lot of mistakes on the headline is perhaps over salesy headlines, over pushy headlines. You know, I've made over $6 million worth of sales in the last 12 days, for example, or skyrocketing your profits up to the moon. That puts people off. So keep things very, very simple. The next thing is location. Recruiters, employers search for location, so make sure you have your correct location here. The next thing I want to talk about is this item here, which says show recruiters you're open to work. We would advise that you don't actually do this, which might surprise some people, but the reason being is that we see potential candidates who are actively looking for job opportunities. We tend not to approach them. The reason being is, I suppose it's common sense. The chances are that they've probably sent their CV to a number of agents and they've also applied for a number of roles. We go for the passive market and we try and find people perhaps aren't actively looking for work. I don't think it's a good statement to say that you're openly looking for work to make, because I think if you get your LinkedIn bio correct, you will get approached. And as a candidate, if you get approached, it puts you in a stronger position. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend using that. Obviously it's down to you. The about section, which is basically the summary, should elaborate a little bit more on your headline statement. So it should give perhaps a few more key strengths and skills in relation to what you do. So don't forget, employers, recruiters, they search for key technical skills. So for example, if you're a project finance lawyer and you specialize in dealing with lenders and borrowers, it would be good to have the words project finance, lenders and borrowers in your about section. So it should be very clear what you do on your about section. Okay, the next thing here is feature. I haven't actually added anything here, but I will do soon. But we recommend that you feature and showcase good examples of your work which you think could be attractive to potential employers. The next section, activity. Be very careful what you like, share, comment on, because it will show up here. Trust me, all employers, or most employers, most recruiters do social media audits on candidates, and it's really, really crucial that you keep things strictly professional. Don't like, share, post anything that you don't want an employer or a recruiter to see. We always advise anyway to keep your social media bios pretty neutral, so nothing controversial to go on your LinkedIn bio, unless of course you're into the world of politics. Underneath here, in experience, it should, once again, this should be pretty commonsensical. It's like your CV. I haven't added too much detail because I don't actually think you need it, because it should go in your about section. But once again, this could be an opportunity to elaborate on your key strengths in relation to the job that you do. Education, once again, this should be very, very clear. Just keep it really short and sweet. I wouldn't put too much detail in, just where you studied, perhaps the classification of degree you got and qualifications, and just keep it pretty simple. I wouldn't go into too much depth here. Skills and endorsements, I tend to not really bother with this. I don't actually think people read endorsements. In actual fact, I think they're counterproductive if you go asking too many people for endorsements. I think if you're good, you'll get recommended anyway, and I think perhaps it looks a little bit too salesy, but once again, that's a personal decision. As you can see, I have got some endorsements there, I suppose, which is good. Accomplishments, yeah, by all means, add accomplishments to your bio. People will read them. Just keep them short and brief. As I say, the main thing that people want to know is where you worked, what you do, basically. Things like this they can talk about at an interview stage. Okay, and then interests, people will look at this, but just keep it, once again, make sure the groups and things that you follow are in relation to what you actually do. So the main thing for a LinkedIn bio is keep it professional. Have all the keywords recruiters and employers could search for under your key skills. So make sure you've got your key skills listed, because recruiters will search for it. Okay, so after changing your LinkedIn bio, we can now move on to the next stage.